We have the pleasure to welcome in our studios today Mr. Ricardo Karam, who is the founder of Takrim. Takrim's mission is to find ways to feature the untold stories of Arab men and women who achieve in the fields of entrepreneurship, humanitarian and civil services, environmental development and sustainability, scientific and technological advancement, and much more. Welcome, Mr. Colleague of mine, Mr. Ricardo. I want to start by asking you, Takrim's jury board, which recently convened in London, to deliberate the 2014 laureates in the following fields that I mentioned, include Her Excellency Queen Noor al-Hussein, Mr. Carlos Ghassan, Mrs. Noura Jumblat, among many. And I know you went together, you had a meeting to try to see how this is going to happen and who the awards are going to go to. So can you walk me step by step on how it all works?
First of all, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Second, we all concur that we lack role models in the Arab world, and wherever we go, if you do a survey, whether in Cairo, in Damascus, in Beirut, in Amman, in any part of the Arab world, and you question the youth, who are your role models? They never have an answer to give. So we thought, why not creating a platform that can gather all those success stories and all those untold stories of people, men and women, who have embraced success and who can constitute an inspiration to all those young people.
Is this the first year Takrim is doing this?
No, this is the 5th year. We've just now entered the 5th year, and the culmination of what we do is an award ceremony, which happens every year in different Arab city. The previous ceremonies occurred in Beirut, Doha, Manama, last year in Paris, the Arab World Institute, and this year is going to be in Marrakesh.
How does the jury decide on how to award? So what's the process? Is there somebody that applies, or do you deliberate it between yourselves? How does it work?
The mechanism is so complex. We have 2 different steps and actually a lot of bylaws. We have a committee made up of 10 people for each discipline or each category, and this committee shortlists 3 or 4 names among hundreds of candidatures that we receive every year. And then those files are sent to the jury board a month prior to the meeting, which happens in London or Paris and Geneva, usually in Europe for security reasons. And then the jury board convenes, and this is where the discussion and the debate start. And sometimes, they reach a cul-de-sac, a dead end, and they don't know, who to choose. And then they start...
So say you reach dead end. How do you proceed?
Once we have the decisions or the results, we inform the winners or the people who have been picked up, and most of them actually did not nominate themselves. They were nominated, so they don't know that they are part of a certain competition. And then we inform them 6 months before, so they prepare themselves to the big award ceremony. And this award ceremony is filmed and is aired on several networks all over the Arab world.
I want to ask, how do you think Takrim differs from other Arab awards that are given to successful people?
I guess it's credible, it's transparent, and it's very objective.
Define credibility.
It's abiding by rules, by regulations, and it's not you and I sitting together having some popcorns and deciding who the winners are. Usually everything is tailor-made according to a certain person, and usually those awards are given to rulers, to sheikh, to prince, to head of states, to sponsors, to big CEOs, whereas we look for unsung heroes, people who are not known at all, and people who have made it, and who usually work behind the radar.
Could you name a few of the past laureates?
I can think about Suhaib al-Hassan, a Tunisian activist who fought for the rights of men and women in her country, and who was outside Tunisia for 25 years. I can think about Helen Thomas, the famous spokeswoman at the White House, and the late journalist of Arab descent, of Lebanese descent actually. I can think about Saad Abdel Latif, a corporate leader who had left us a year ago, unfortunately, due to a heart stroke. I can think of young entrepreneurs. I can think about Khaled Sabawi, the Palestinian guy, and many more, actually.
And it encompasses all of the Arab world. And you said this year you managed to get North Africa in as well.
And so important for us to conquer.
So it's the MENA region now.
The MENA region. It has always been the MENA region, and the reason why every year we move from one city to another is to make the different societies of the Arab world concerned with what we're doing. So they wouldn't say this is a Levantine initiative or this is an initiative pertaining to the Gulf. This is a pan-Arab initiative that's targeting the different parts of the Arab world.
You said the mission is to spot those stories. When people are nominating other people, is it because usually they've heard about somebody and then they go directly to, so say somebody wants to nominate somebody for a Takrim award, how does the process go for our viewers that are watching?
If it's not part of the community of Takrim, any recommendation, any suggestion is more than welcome. Our online service, is open to anybody, and then we always receive emails, tons of emails actually, from people all over recommending, and definitely due to what I do as a journalist, I'm all over the world. Also, I listen, I hear, I get suggestions, and I wouldn't ask more than now after this interview to receiving new suggestions and new candidates.
So for all people who are watching, your message would be, if you have an untold story, if you know of an unsung hero, then definitely visit Takrim, learn more about it, and try to recommend somebody you think should be basically put in the limelight, right?
Definitely, because you'll be inspiring the youth in the Arab world, and you'll be contributing in changing this false perception of Arabs spread all over.
And the annual award ceremony is to be held on November 8 in Marrakesh, am I right?
Exactly.
All right, I hope to see you then too. Is the public allowed to go?
Yeah.
What about colleagues?
Your family.
What about colleagues?
And actually,
okay.
Future TV is among our partners, media partners in the beginning.
Thank you. From one family member to another, that was Mr. Ricardo Karam talking to us about Takrim and the special awards of unsung heroes. Back to you, Linda.